Why did Taehyung suddenly break his silence only 10 minutes ago? What shocking first words did he finally say after the home break-in? And why did Jungkook end up crying? Click like dulu. Comment kalau kamu army. Dan subscribe agar kamu tidak ketinggalan update lanjutan kisah ini. Jangan sampai kamu army terakhir yang tahu kebenarannya. What really happened 10 minutes ago? Why did Taehyung suddenly choose this exact moment to open his mouth after days of terrifying silence? And what kind of sentence could be so heavy, so shocking, so deeply emotional that Jungkook, the member known for holding everything together, finally broke down in tears? Nobody expected today to be the day. Nobody expected the silence to end. And yet here we are, the moment the world didn't think would ever come. The break-in at Taehyung's home had already become the scariest and most painful story in the ARMY universe. Fans had been awake for nights, refreshing timelines, praying, crying, hoping for even one word from the man whose safety mattered more than any chart, award, or headline. But Taehyung said nothing. He didn't post, he didn't comment, he didn't smile for the camera, he didn't reassure anyone. He disappeared from the public like a shadow fading into the night. And the silence only made the fear louder. Even Jungkook couldn't hide it anymore. Reporters saw him shake. Fans caught glimpses of his eyes swollen. Even during rehearsals, even during schedules, even while pretending to be fine, something was clearly broken. And ARMY knew the reason. The break-in didn't just violate Taehyung's home. It violated the sense of safety between brothers who promised to protect each other forever. So what happened 10 minutes ago? It began with a notification no one expected. Taehyung's official account lit up, but not with a promotion, not with a song, not with a photo. It was just a caption. Just words. Just that one sentence, the first sentence he had said since the night that changed everything. But before anyone could breathe, Jungkook himself reacted. And what happened next is what sent the fandom into complete chaos. Taehyung wrote, "I didn't run. I fought back." Fans froze. Silence spread before the explosion of comments could flood the screen. The sentence wasn't long, it wasn't poetic, it wasn't dramatic. It was a confession, a warning, a revelation. Taehyung was not the helpless victim everyone imagined. He didn't hide. He didn't break. He confronted the danger with his own hands, his own voice, his own fear. 10 minutes ago, the world learned that Taehyung didn't just survive, he resisted. But the emotional earthquake didn't stop there. Seconds later, Jungkook appeared. No filters, no editing, no stylists, no makeup, no comfort. Just him with red eyes and a voice that cracked with every syllable. He didn't post a photo. He didn't type long paragraphs. He simply whispered, "I should have been there." And the world shattered. The moment Jungkook said those words, the live stream comments flooded faster than anyone had ever seen. It wasn't just sympathy. It was heartbreak. It was guilt. It was love. It was a brother who believed he failed to protect the person he cared about most. And yet, no one could blame him, but Jungkook blamed himself anyway. Taehyung appeared shortly afterward, not physically, but through another message, this time longer, shakier, more vulnerable. One that hinted at something no one expected to hear. He wrote that the break-in wasn't random. It wasn't coincidence. It wasn't an accident. It was someone who knew him. Someone who knew the layout of his home. Someone who came not to steal, but to scare. Taehyung described hearing footsteps where there should have been silence, watching shadows move where there should have been safety, and gripping the nearest object in fear while his heart beat so loud he felt it could echo through the walls. He didn't say who the intruder was, but he said something even more terrifying. "They knew exactly where to find me." The fandom began to spiral. How could someone get that close? How could they know where he slept? What did they want? What was their purpose? Taehyung didn't say the name, but he hinted that it wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a fan breaking boundaries. It was something deeper, something personal. And that realization is what made Jungkook break down completely. Because Jungkook was there when Taehyung first bought that house. He was there when Taehyung painted the walls. He was there when Taehyung said that was the first home where he finally felt safe from the world. Safety, that was the word that shattered Jungkook the most. If Taehyung didn't feel safe anymore, then what was Jungkook doing? Where was he? Why wasn't he next to him? The guilt was not rational, but emotions rarely are. And then came the most shocking part. Taehyung continued his message with something unexpected. Not fear, not trauma, but a declaration that burned with fire rather than tears. He wrote, "I will not live in fear. If they come again, I won't be alone." Those words were not just for the intruder. They were for someone else. Someone watching the message in real time with a broken expression and trembling lips. And without even needing to say his name, every fan in the world knew Taehyung was speaking directly to Jungkook. Jungkook responded not in text, but by whispering through the live stream, voice rough, chest rising and falling in panic and love and relief all at once, "I'm coming to you." And in those 4 words, the tears that ARMY had been trying to hold back finally fell. The live stream abruptly ended after that. No explanation, no goodbye, no details. Only silence. But this time, the silence didn't feel like fear. It felt like movement. It felt like urgency. It felt like Jungkook running toward Taehyung the way he always promised he would. Fans watched phones, timelines, airport cams, private schedule trackers, anything, waiting to see that moment when the two would be reunited again. Because tonight wasn't just about a break-in. It wasn't just about danger. It was about love, protection, and the kind of bond that doesn't need to be spoken aloud to be understood. And somewhere out there, right now, Jungkook is either on his way or already beside him. The live stream ended, but the shock did not. For a split second, the world froze on Jungkook's last trembling words. "I'm coming to you." There was no music, no transition, no professionalism. It was raw, unedited, emotional, and painfully real. Fans could almost hear his footsteps as he stood up. As if the live stream ended because he could no longer sit still. Because whatever held him back before, schedules, image, pressure, the world, suddenly didn't matter anymore. Everyone wanted to know the same thing. Where is Jungkook right now? Did he drive? Did he call a manager? Did he run out the door with nothing but adrenaline and fear? Those questions flooded the comments as if millions of fans were breathing together with the same heartbeat. A heartbeat that refused to calm down. The timeline shifted into full panic mode. Airport cameras were checked. Dispatch vans were spotted moving. Some fans shared sightings of a black SUV speeding through the night, headlights cutting through the cold darkness like a blade. Others shared shaky phone footage. A man dressed in dark clothing wearing a mask, head bowed, hair falling forward, surrounded by panic and urgency. They swore it was Jungkook, but no one could confirm. The mystery only amplified the tension. Meanwhile, Taehyung didn't go live. He didn't make another statement. He didn't delete what he wrote. His message stayed there, the message that changed everything. "I didn't run. I fought back." Those words echoed through every forum, every fan group, every heart. People tried to imagine the scene. Taehyung in his own home, in the dark, hearing unfamiliar footsteps, feeling paralyzed for one horrifying second, and then acting on instinct. Not freezing, not collapsing, but resisting. The image was both heartbreaking and heroic. A man scared for his life but refusing to surrender. The vulnerability and strength combined in one memory nobody ever wanted him to experience, yet everyone admired him for surviving. Some fans cried because they imagined Taehyung in pain. Some cried because they realized how much fear he must have endured alone. Others cried because they understood why Jungkook broke down so violently. The idea of someone you love being in danger and you not being there is the kind of guilt no one should carry. And still, the most haunting part of Taehyung's statement wasn't the break-in. It was the implication that the person who entered his home wasn't a stranger. The phrase, "they knew exactly where to find me," left a scar across the entire fandom. Who could it be? Why target Taehyung specifically? Why now? Was it personal revenge? A warning? Or something much darker? Something that no one wanted to say out loud?